There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I changed up all of my hotkeys, so I couldn't remember which one I put the game on. It is Vid, and joining me here tonight is Mark Hames, and we are bringing you some Platinum Game of the Week action. I really hope he's here. Alright, so our first game of the week for the Solari Conference is Goliath Esports Lions versus Gecko Slammer Armageddon Platinum. Now, for Goliath Esports Lions, we have on the blue side TTV Broly Bro in the top lane on Ornn, Orson Lannister in the jungle on Jarvan IV, Raised Cold in the mid on Lissandra, and our bot lane Fish Chips and Armadukes on Kaisa and Karma.
All right, and on the top lane for GSM on the red side, Jack Loves Lamp. On Kled, we have Jungle as Ikato on Kha'Zix, Fred on Syndra mid, and we have Worstmonk NA and RA Panda on Aphelios Morgana bot.
So this is an interesting game of the week. Both of these teams, they have... Actually, no. They obviously they haven't played before because Platinum is a single round robin. But these teams 3-1 and 2-2 respectively. So a win here does mean the head-to-head advantage for the rest of the season. Am I super quiet? I feel like I've had some problems with this microphone being a little bit too quiet recently.
All right, there we go. I can hear now.
Oh, you can hear now. Okay, cool.
Okay. All right, there we go. Let's get casting. So, I don't know what you've covered so far because I couldn't hear anything. So let's just get a quick recap. So this is the Platinum Game of the Week out of the Blessed Isles. No, this is Lunaris. Solari. Okay, yeah. So this is Solari. We have GSM versus Goliath Esports. And this is a pretty important game because these two teams are really fighting for the last two playoff spots in the Lunari Conference. First two are probably going to be secured by Cosmic Flow and Pootie Tang Gang, so the last two spots are up for grabs, and GSM and Goliath Esports are really looking for, they're looking at the front runners for the two spots.
Yeah, keep in mind this is this is an 8-team conference, so it is a reduced playoff bracket for each conference. Only the top 4 get in, as opposed to in Diamond and Gold capped for this season, the top 6 in each conference will get into playoffs. Oh wait, so top 4 in gold.
Yeah, top 4 in gold, I think, yeah.
Because there's only 6 teams anyway.
Yeah. Alright, so we can look at the compositions right now. A very well-rounded team fight composition from the side of Goliath Esports. A lot of engage options and a lot of damage coming out from their composition. Fish Chips is really their main damage source, so if GSM can somehow shut down Fish Chips early in the game, it's going to be really difficult for Goliath Esports to come and run through them in these team fights, even though they don't really have any tankier members.
However, I wouldn't count out Raised Cold. He is playing Lissandra, which is a lot more supportive of a mid laner, but he is playing Electrocute Lissandra, which is much more damage-oriented than the former Aftershock Lissandra that we've seen in pro play and, in GRLCS. A lot of the time last split. But now Lissandra does do a lot more damage with her new-ish passive, which is the frozen zombie people that deal a bunch of damage. But a little bit of a fight here.
Yep.
And...
Oh, am I doing play-by-play? Alright, so there's a root on to Armado now. RA Panda gonna back them off. Worstmonk taking a lot of damage. Fish Chips gonna go forward, but Armado forces the flash back. Now RA Panda gonna throw out the Tormented Soil just to taunt him for a bit.
Right. I asked you if you wanted to do play-by-play when you still couldn't hear me.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's on
That's
me.
okay, I'll do play-by-play. So I caught it coming in for a gank. The Ice Claw gonna come out. Oh, he actually jumps in the turret range, gets rooted up for a bit as well. Raised Cold playing that pretty well. It's gonna hurt Ikado's clear just a little bit, so he can't really go invade Orson Lannister like he would want to right now. In this Kha'Zix Jarvan matchup, you kind of want to play a little bit more aggressive early, just because that's kind of where Kha'Zix's power lies, where Jarvan is still relatively strong early, but is more of a skirmishy kind of jungler rather than a 1v1 kind of jungler.
But across the board, of course, Aikado still wins. He gets both Scuttle Crabs, gets that first blood on Jarvan, and that should make his dueling significantly better. If he catches out Orson Lannister basically anytime after his first back, he should be fairly set up well for a kill. Meanwhile, as you said, Orson Lannister, much more skirmishy, much more ganky. He's got that flag and drag CC, so his avenue back in the game here is just trying to find kills onto probably Fred, potentially Worst Monk and Ari Panda.
Yeah, potentially Worst Monk and Ari Panda, because GSM's bot lane has really been the focus for a lot of teams this split. It's definitely one of the weaker parts of their team overall. So a lot of teams have been focusing hard towards the bot lane and just playing the mismatch in the bot lane, I suppose.
And that's also because Jack Loves Lamp has traditionally kind of been like a don't die top laner. We see those, like, they're always in contention for some of the better top laners, but they're never necessarily the best in GRLCS, just because you don't die, which is great for your team, but you're also not always the one carrying your team through these games. But Jack Loves Lamp there, Fred, of course. I actually don't know that much about Fred, because I don't remember that much about Fred. I also don't really cast...
I don't know if you cast Fred.
Yeah, I don't cast Solari all that much.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, Fred for GSM has kind of been a rock. He's been pretty consistent in the mid lane, but hasn't had many star carry performances. And that's kind of I suppose that's the idea, or the central dogma of GSM Platinum is just we have no actual carry players, but everybody's just pretty consistent.
If everyone like 25% pops off, then we have 125% pop off at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, Aikado for sure for GSM is, if they were to have a star player, it would be Aikado. Aikado's put on quite the number of carry performances this split. Playing these carry junglers, and then when GSM kind of puts him on maybe some of these tank junglers like Zac, they haven't had as much success because he just doesn't have that carrying capacity that he would on, like the Kha'Zix and the Kindred and Lee Sin that he likes to play.
And of course, as you've alluded to right here, First Blood plus that Infernal Drake, Aikado has already gotten his team off to a pretty good start early. And even though he is a little bit behind in CS, he put Orson Lannister behind to the point where now Orson Lannister is level 5 and hasn't been able to affect any of the 3 lanes on the map, whereas Aikado has already secured a dragon for his team.
Yeah, and hopefully Aikado will be able to keep the ball rolling for GSM as they look to contend for these playoff spots. Now, we can see him on the top side of the map going for the scuttle. Orson Lannister going to be on the bot side of the map for quite some time. Ari Panda and Worst Monk NA might be the targets. Now, Raze Cole has the ability to push out this wave and get lane priority and potentially look for a 4-man dive bot with the jungler. The problem is that he's just kind of letting himself be bullied by Fred right now. It looks like he's going to try to freeze the wave potentially as well. Actually, I can hear him clearing it, so perhaps he's just going to clear the wave, look for the lane priority, and just dive bot. Once Orson Lannister hits 6 with the Cataclysm, it's going to be a really easy dive.
But it does look like GSM, both of their solo laners have been cheating towards that Rift Herald, so now with Aikado on that should be a fairly easy pickup for GSM. Now Fred, he might be in trouble.
Yeah, Orson Lannister gonna land the knockup. Fred moving back. Cataclysm doesn't land. Ignite comes out, but the cleanse not gonna cleanse the Ignite, and Raze Cold picks up 1 on the Fred.
That almost managed to save himself there, Fred, with the cleanse to get out of that stun, the Cataclysm as well coming in. But overall, good CC layering here by Goliath Esports Lions, and they are going to return they're going to return the kill for the second of the game. But Aikado does pick up the Rift Herald during that, and that's probably a pretty good sacrifice. You're giving over 300 or 450 gold out of kill and assist, and if you can get more than 2 turret plates, that's a win with that Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, Aikado all split, he realizes that his lanes are going to be hurting all the time. It almost feels like he's plugging the holes on a sinking ship, where, the ship is sinking, he's trying to do as much as he can to trade across the map to be able to help his team out in the early game. But in the end, for a lot of these games, it just hasn't been enough. But when he's able to kind of just get his team through the early game, then they are doing relatively okay. And hopefully Aikado can guys step it up for GSM in these later games of the split to be able to secure them the playoff spot.
Honestly, Aikado, when his team ends up doing well and winning, it basically looks like he's kind of like, picking him up and putting him in his little basket and saying, "Come on, guys, we're gonna get through this early game all together." But on the bad sides, like the ugly side of that is kind of the solo queue jungler who's like, "You idiots, you can't do anything right. Like, I'm gonna get all of these. Like, I'm going to do so well in the objective game, but you're still gonna lose your lanes." And that's kind of that's the give and take of Aikado's playstyle on this team, where if you don't help your team, they might just kind of falter and end up getting, too far behind. But if you give up all of these different objectives that Aikado focuses on, then of course you might just put the entire team behind on the map. And this is a very interesting 4-man because there's no one in the actual lane, so from behind tower dive doesn't work when you don't have anyone pushing minion waves in.
I mean, I like the idea from Goliath Esports Armored. They're working together as a team, and we've been talking a lot about Aikado and his jungling. And I just want to point out that's a very individualized, like kind of individual focused jungling. It's just Aikado making plays. It's not necessarily him and his team making plays all the time. But with Goliath Esports, it's the entire team coming together. While Aikado comes up for a gank on the Broly Bro, who's gonna have to flash away, but he's gonna be safe for now.
Yeah, Broly Bro does have to commit the flash there, but now Aikado has shown himself, which does leave the possibility that Orson Lannister can come into this bot lane, especially with the Mountain Drake coming up in 20 seconds, but he is going to finish clearing his Krugs. It looks like he will rotate down. Raised Cold can come in from behind, but there is a ward there in the Tri-Brush.
But the wave's pushing in. Yeah, the wave's pushing in. It's going to spot out them, but here comes the TP from Jack Love's Lamp. He's going to try to save the play. Where's Monk? Forcing them off. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Philios. The TP from Jack Love's Lamp. They're going to back off almost all together now. Aikado pushing in the mid lane, while the Dragon might be the focus for Goliath Esports, and their play has been thwarted by Jack Love's Lamp.
Crescendum Severum is a really good combination for Worst Monk here, because not only does it help you clear just because of that auto attack steroid, but also it means that you can get a lot of single target damage on whoever happens to walk toward your turret first. So he does a really good job at zoning out the bottom lane of Goliath Esports Lions before they get onto the play, but now Fred ganked again.
Yeah, but the cleanse comes out, doesn't cleanse anything really. The Ignite still comes down. Here comes Jack Love's Lamp, still in the bot lane, gonna trade a kill here. Broly Bro finds Aikado, gonna throw out the Orange Horn, knock him out. That's a lot of damage. He's gonna dash away though, perhaps looking for the Honey Fruit, but Aikado flashes forward and finishes off the kill. Meanwhile, Orson Lannister pathing up towards the top side of the map, and you have to really ask where Goliath Esports is on the map right now. The Dragon was kind of up for the taking. They had the TP advantage, could pressure top lane as well, and they kind of forced something on the mid when they didn't have to.
Yeah, that was a not so great play, especially with Jack Love's Lamp rotating up, and the Baron being, or the Dragon being on the map and Orson Lannister deciding to go from mid to then clear his own Gromp is kind of a question mark ping here for me, especially after Aikado drops the Rift Herald, manages to get those 2 turret plates, and then the kill onto Broly Bro. So, turret plating down in 30 seconds, and now GSM is at a 2-0 Dragon lead, and it is an Ocean Soul here, or an Ocean map, and potential Ocean Soul for one of these teams.
I mean, so far, this looks like a recipe for success for GSM. They've gotten through the early game almost entirely. Turret plates are about to drop, so not too much of the laning phase is going to be played out furthermore. But they already have the 2 Dragon lead, can threaten Soul potentially late in the game. And with Aikado as your jungler, that's almost surely to happen.
And as we're starting to head out of this early game and into this sort of mid-game position where everyone's finishing their first item, possibly first 2 in the case of the jungler and top laners, you start looking at the map as sort of what normally happens and what do we want to happen here, because GSM tends to fall behind specifically in the bot lane a lot in their losses. The fact that they're even here and only behind by about 15 CS is a really good sign, because now they'll actually have some agency on this map, and in a meta where the bot lane is so important to taking objectives.
I mean, that's partly in fact due to the draft, I think. So Armado and Fish Chips picking such a passive kind of lane, not really a more engage all-in kind of lane that can punish bot lane of GSM for making mistakes. It's more of just kind of this poke, get through the lane. And I believe that Goliath Esports kind of had a misdraft here because most of the damage, keep this in mind, still comes from Fish and Chips, partly and from Raised Cold as well, but Armado Fish Chips are going to be a lot of the damage, so they have to kind of get them ahead, but they weren't able to make any plays in the bot lane so far in the early game. But here comes Worst Monk. Yeah, he's gonna have to flash back, just as we were about to say. They can't really all in. Here comes Orson Lannister and Raised Cold. Mikado's in the area as well. They choose to proceed with this dive. It could go very poorly for Goliath Esports. They don't know that Ikado's there. You could surprise them quite a bit.
So they do end up backing off, and good call there by Fred. The moment that he sees them leave the bot lane, he actually heads toward the top lane to rotate up there and just keep himself from dying a third time to a mid lane gank, because that would just be really unfortunate.
And he walks all the way to the top lane, and unfortunately Orson Lannister can't capitalize by moving towards the bot lane. But no. Fred might be caught out here.
Fred, no.
In the land. Orinhorn comes out, gonna knock nobody up. He misses it. Cataclysm comes on the Fred. He's taking a lot of damage, rooted up and taken down. Raised Cold picks up the kill. Now Jack Love's Lamp in trouble. Here comes Icado on the backside. I clean this one up. Orson Lannister gonna go down. Now they're looking for more. Great root and claw from Raised Cold. Gonna shut down Icado. Jack Love's Lamp gets the remount. Raised Cold in trouble. Gonna take the claw away. He might just get out. Bro chasing him down now. Not gonna find the knockup. Gonna run him down. Bear trap on the rope. Gonna move him away. Jack Love makes it out for his life.
Oh, that could have gone either way at basically every single point of that fight. At first, it looked like Fred and Jack Love's Lamp really weren't coordinated in who they should go on. They each went onto a different target, but Worst Monk now is getting dove.
Yeah, Redemption comes out to heal them up, and Fish Chips picks up the kill. Armado gonna have to get out with the heal assist from Fish Chips to keep him alive.
But yeah, that top lane fight, it's like Fred and Jack Love's Lamp were focusing two different targets. Then Icado came in, and it looked like they could turn it because he managed to just basically tear down Orson Lannister so quickly. But then Raised Cold, managing to blink away from Jack Love's Lamp, kept him alive, and then meant that Jack Love's Lamp just had to walk away without getting anything other than the one trade kill onto Orson Lannister, while also losing Icado. Then that bot lane dive. Really good job there by Worst Monk, trying to get the Severum ultimate to try and keep himself alive, but there was just too much damage coming in from the full Essence Reaver Kaisa for Fish Chips, and he ended up falling under the turret. So now 5-4 is the kill lead for Goliath Esports Lions, and they're about 1,000 gold in the lead, with a Rift Herald still able to be taken in the next 2 minutes.
And this is exactly what Goliath Esports Lions, right?
Yep,
Is
Lions.
This Armor? Yeah, Lions, yeah, Lions. They just have so many of their teams in the GRLCS, they can't keep them straight. But Goliath Esports Lions, this is what they need to do to get back in the game. They need to force plays onto the bot lane of GSM, because that's where their mismatch is. I fully believe that Fish Chips and Armado are a better bot lane than Worst Monk and Ari Panda, so they need to be able to force stuff onto, Worst Monk and kind of put him in the gutter. Now, Worst Monk is almost completely caught up to Fish Chips. He's only about 2 daggers behind, it looks like, and that's not too much overall in the perspective thing. But here comes Orson Lannister going on to him. He's gonna go golden, get stunned up. Orson Lannister gonna go golden as well, save his life for a little bit, but not too long. Gets taken down. Jack Love's Lamp now in the backline. Armado is the target. They're gonna get rooted up in CC, but Race Cold moves forward, gonna be the saving lamb for the team, but it does not matter. Armado gonna go down anyway. Fish Chips next target. Icado gonna back off after taking a turret playing. Here comes Broly Bro all the way in the back line. Too little, too late, and has nothing to do with the fight.
3 for nothing, and that was a good play there by GSM on the front half of it, and then Broly Bro came in just a little bit too late, threw the Call of the Forge God the wrong direction. He still hit 2 people, but he hit the wrong 2 people. You wanted to get the 2 people that were in your backline, and that just ended up meaning that Goliath Esports Lions not only wasn't able to trade anything back, but they also lost another member there, and as well as this Ocean Drake. So it is now sole point for GSM, and they've put themselves, swung that gold lead, and they are now 1k ahead here.
And you have to look at the compositions just for this purpose, because right there we just saw a pretty full blown out skirmish, and that's not really where the composition of Goliath Esports Lions thrives. They thrive in a front to back team fight where they're able to send their 3 divers, or really just their 3 frontliners, onto the back line of GSM and kind of scatter them to dive onto the Aphelios. The problem is that they weren't able to do that because Broly Bro came so late to the fight and threw the College of Forge God the wrong way. He wasn't able to tank for his backline, especially Fish Chips, who was forced back the entire fight. Now, this is exactly where GSM thrives, though. We can see that their composition is very much built around skirmishing. Especially with the Kha'Zix Kled Syndra, you thrive in skirmishing and just splitting up the fight and picking off key targets, which is exactly what they did in the last skirmish.
Right, you are. So now GSM, they are a slight bit ahead, but Broly Bro has reached level 13 here on this Ornn. That means he has his own Masterwork items available. Next level, he will start being able to give them to his allies. So in terms of golds, in terms of gold efficient stats here, they're about even on the map, but that does hinge on Broly Bro being able to make it into these team fights, which he wasn't able to in the last one, hence the GSM win for that last skirmish. And also, not having Broly Bro at this point is even worse for Goliath Esports Lions, because Orson Lannister still... Oh, he actually does have Cinderhulk and Goliath Gargoyle Stoneplate, but this isn't like a full tank Jarvan yet. This isn't, this is still Conqueror. This isn't like Aftershock Jarvan, but oh, Icado.
Yeah, he jumps in onto the bot lane of Goliath Esports. The root comes out from Worst Monk and saves the play. Fish Chips trying to back off, gets the shutdown to Icado and running for his life, but Worst Monk NA gonna finish it off. Orson Lancer now looking for a little bit of something here, but gonna get rooted by Ari Panda and stopped in his tracks.
Icado just going balls deep there, and Worst Monk having to back his ADC up, but the good news is they trade 2 for 1. Worst Monk gets himself another kill, and I'm sure he should be catching up to Fish Chips in gold now. Let's actually quick take a look at that. Yeah, I mean, they're dead even now with that extra
kill. Yeah, they're
kill.
absolutely dead even with that extra kill. That's exactly what he needs. He's 2-1-3 and has a bounty on him now. He's pretty much even, I would say even more ahead at this point, just because of the Aphelios kind of power trough. Once he gets his second item, or at least components of his second item, he's hurting very much in the mid game. Compared to Kai'Su, kind of needs a little bit more to get online, just because of the Aphelios base damages are insanely high.
And I think this, like the Aphelios versus Kai'Sa matchup, we can't look at that in a vacuum because there is a Syndra on the board. If Fred can, get himself enough items that he can just press the delete button on Fish Chips, this could very well go much further in GSM's favor in this ADC matchup. Of course, the same thing basically goes for Raze Cold here, who is ahead of Fred, and actually the 1v1's happening here.
Yeah, the 1v1 turns into a 2v1 as Raze Cold gets deleted by Fred and Icado.
The good old jungler comes in, queues for the kill, and says, "You're welcome, that was all me."
Yeah, and he continues to tax the wave that Fred is not safe enough to get anymore. So Icada's going to push that one forward. Fred actually picked up the top lane turret earlier. Fred has been side laning for most of this mid game now, which is quite surprising for the composition of GSM, because they kind of want to group and pick off people in these small skirmishes, but they're opting for more of a 1-3-1, the split farm between their carries, which isn't necessarily wrong. It's just more of an interesting choice because they have more of a lead right now, and they kind of need to push it before the late game hits for Goliath Esports.
Yeah, now that GSM is about 3k ahead, I kind of see both sides of like what you said there. Obviously, you want to be baiting around objectives or pushing as a team, finding picks, and assassinating members of Goliath Esports Lions. But also, I kind of see what they're going for, keeping Fred fairly safe, making sure that he can get some solo farm that he has been sorely lacking this game. And now that it's about 15 seconds left on this mountain, or Ocean Drake, and the potential soul. Now they're finally grouping up. However, this might go poorly, especially right now.
Yeah, the shutdown immediately goes on to Worst Monk, who was slightly missed positions, honestly. He was just barely caught on a ward, but that was all that Goliath Esports needed to secure this dragon for themselves and completely force GSM off of the objective.
We were talking about how GSM was kind of a 5-man pick machine here, but Goliath Esports Lions has their pick machine, and his name is Raised Cold, so when Worst Monk, is on the other side of a wall from him, the Frozen Claw is more than enough to just pick up that kill, so it is going to net Goliath Esports Lions the dragon, and it's going to delay that soul 5 more minutes for GSM.
And I really like the Lissandra pick here into the Aphelios, because typically against the Aphelios and a lot of these compositions in the GRLCS, we don't see any real dive threat onto him. Typically, teams will play, kind of a 2-tank or 3-tank kind of thing with two DPS sources, so maybe a mage, control mage in the mid lane, and then a standard ADC in the bot lane role, so you don't get to see a real dive threat onto the Aphelios whenever he's picked, would make him a great pick at the GRLCS. But Ikato might pick off Raise Cold here. He's isolated, takes some extra damage, gonna take the claw away. But how fast can Ikato go? He jumps in, but here comes Orson Lancer, gonna knock him up. The root comes down as well. Ikato might be in a little bit of trouble. He's retreating. The TP is here from Broly Bro. They're gonna get the speed up from the Mantra E, and the shutdown goes on to Ikato.
A good pick there by Goliath Esports Lions, especially here at 26 minutes. The Baron is on the map, and Ikato is down for 35 more seconds. So GEL is definitely going to take this top lane turret, their first of the game, actually. And now they can actually threaten onto the Baron, although it looks like Broly Bro is going back to match that push from Jack Love's Lamp. So Jack Love's Lamp there in the bot lane is actually keeping his team from losing this Baron, but Ari Panda might be caught as well.
Yeah, caught in the Cataclysm, not where you want to be. Gargoyle Stone Play keeps him tanky enough to take down Ari Panda potentially, but she lives! Here comes the redemption. Raise Cold actually picks up Ari Panda on the backside. Now they're retreating. Worst Monk doing a lot of damage. Here comes Fred, presses the delete button, but not enough to take down Raise Cold. Now Armado split from his team, gonna use the E to get away. Now he's gonna back off for now, and GSM not able to capitalize on anything right there, while GEL picks up a pick onto Ari Panda.
So much split focus there. There was so much damage going on to Armado and Fish Chips both. And then, of course, not having Broly Bro in that fight actually made it a 4v4 until, of course, Ari Panda died. But even in a 3v4, GSM almost managed to pick off 2 members of Goliath Esports Lions. Unfortunately, they didn't get either of them, and they still remain in the gold lead, but it has shrunk from 3k to 2k here at 27.5 minutes.
I mean, it's pretty unfortunate for GSM because they played a really great early game, probably one of the best early games we've seen from them, all split, I mean, against an even team, I suppose, but they just haven't been able to convert that lead into anything substantial, and GEL has been able to really catch up in this mid game and neutralize the gold lead quite a bit. Now, they have a lot of vision on the top side of the map, while GSM has a lot of scattered vision, honestly. They haven't really focused their vision anywhere in particular. We see that the Ocean Dragon spawns in minute 45, so the next objective is either going to be that or the Baron. Neither of these teams really making a play for any of these turrets here, so things are going to slow down quite a bit, I expect.
Yeah, GSM has kind of their time to make their move is kind of waning right now. Ikato, he is 6-3, he's got 3 items here, but he really is going to start scaling off because he's just Kha'Zix. That's how Kha'Zix works, and at that point, once you're basically reducing Ikato to a smite bot, you've gotten to the point where GSM is basically running a 4v5 for anything other than a pick. So they need to start making moves and building a gold lead before Goliath Esports Lions can start taking fights on their own terms. And for every pick that GSM gets caught by, it's just another, another couple of minutes that it's a larger deficit that they need to crawl out of in order to find their footing in this game and try and close it out. But it looks like Goliath Esports Lions 5-manning at mid. They want to crack down this outer turret, and I'm not sure there's much that GSM can do aside from start a full-on fight.
And it looks like that's what they're gonna do. The ultimate comes out from Worstmug. Now here comes the Ornhorn. Might look for Fred, who's caught on the side here, but goes on to Ari Panda, who is spell immune, will not get knocked up, and that's 2 big ultimates down for this next fight. Now Race Cold still has the engage option as well as Orson Lannister. The Ocean Dragon spawning in 10 seconds, and Maya's time flown by. Both these teams just sitting in the mid lane until the Ocean Dragon spawns, but GL has the first move. He might find the pick here. Broly Bro looking for Aikado on the side. GL has to play this very carefully because they don't have eyes on Aikado right now. They're going to pick up the Scuttle Crab, but if they go onto a fight on the left side, Aikado just might blow through their team. Ocean Dragon has been started. Here comes the fight. Jackal's Lamp comes in. 3-man Cataclysm and a flash out from Worstmunk on the backline. He's going to go down pretty soon. The Ignite comes down. There goes the ADC of GEL popping off on this fight. Aikado's going to clean him up on the backside. And this fight has turned all over the GSM. Broly Bro's the last one. They're going to turn onto the Ocean Dragon and secure the soul from themselves as well as the ace for GSM as soon as they can pick up Broly Bro, and they might just as soon as Aikado can have his leap up again. There we go. The ace for GSM.
A 5-for-1 fight that looked absolutely disastrous for GSM at the very onset. Ari Panda was forced to Zanya's almost immediately. Jack Love's Lamp got burned out of Scarl fairly quickly, and Fred wasn't able to find fish chips for any significant damage. So it looked really bad, and then that's when Worstmunk and Aikado hit the Smurf switch. They managed to find the good kills onto fish chips and Raised Cold that basically then turned the fight for them, and it is going to mean that they get the Baron here. They're going to push themselves to over a 5,000 gold lead, and they have that Baron buff for pushing on all of their members. That timer that we were talking about, where their effectiveness would run out, they just reset it.
I mean, absolutely. They have the Baron buff now. We'll see what they decide to do because GSM isn't exactly a proactive team, especially later in the game when the only options are the fight around objectives. I don't expect them to use this Baron buff fully well. We'll have to see though, because GSM has absolutely surprised me in this game against GEL, who hasn't played so well. Now we can break down the last fight where Jack Love's Lamp and the entire GSM team just runs into GEL just straight up. It was absolutely a 5v5. Aikado jumping in on the side is the only odd thing about it, so he didn't get caught by the initial CC and everything. So he was able to find a lot of damage in that fight, but it just wasn't what GEL need. They kind of need to create space between them and the ADC and support, allowing Broly Bro, Lannister, and Raised Cold to kind of get onto Worstmunk, buy some time, and then allow Fish Chips to kind of run through the rest of the fight.
I think that last fight was really interesting because if you look at the team comps, just in a nutshell, you've got Ornhorn, you've got Cataclysm, and you've got that AoE slow / lockdown from the Frozen Tomb. Being able to fight around like the outside of that blue buff is something that should 100% go in GEL's favor every time, but just little mispositionings and then pickups by GSM continuing to go further in meant that they ended up winning that, and now it looks like the inhibitor the inner turret, jeez, managing to exhaust every alternative before I get the right one, but the inner turret is going to fall in favor of GSM. They're going to push their turret lead to 6-1, and now Jack Love's Lamp is looking to crack open this base turret here in the top lane, and a good use of the Baron buff, pretty much the optimal use of what GSM could do here. Yeah, and I mean, they're getting a lot of damage on the Fish Chips and Orson Lannister as well. We can see Fish Chips almost chunked completely, so they're going to try to clear out this wave, but Jack Love's Lamp going to be pressuring in the top side at the same time. Now, Cannon's just going to crack that. If Orson Lannister drops the aggro, there we go. It's just gonna pop. Alright, it's gonna go down pretty soon. Aikado and Jack Love's Lamp actually pick up the inhibitor turret on the top side of the map as well. Now inhibitors are the focus. GEL has to make a move right now, but that's the wrong move. Orson Lannister gonna have to pop the Gargoyle Stone Plate, flash forward from Fred, gonna pick up the kill on the Fish Chips. Major mispositioning right there, and GSM looks to push for the end with the Baron buff. And that was just a really clean Baron push there. You know, we were talking about how we weren't super confident in what they were doing, and it looks like there's just one last desperation team fight here for GEL, 4v5.
And it's pretty unfortunate. It's a 4v5. They're not going to have enough damage. It's just their composition. Armado, next target for Jackalow's land. But GSM just running over Goliath Esports Lions. Gonna pick up one more Nexus tower and pick up the Nexus and move themselves in some great standings in the GRLCS.
And this is actually going to put GSM ahead of Goliath Esports Lions. Both of these teams at 3 and 2, but GSM now with the head-to-head. This was a crucial win for them, and it is going to bode very well for their playoff chances. But Goliath Esports Lions is going to have to battle back something fierce if they want to come back from this loss.
I'm very excited to see what GSM has in store for us with the rest of the season. But Goliath Esports Lions was looking so good for the earlier half of the split. We'll have to see if they can kind of pick up some more of these wins to secure their playoff spot, because now they are definitely in risk of losing it after losing the GSM in week 6 of the GRLCS.
So after this Solari Platinum Game of the Week, don't go anywhere because we've got one more for you. The Lunari Conference coming... Wait a minute. Solari Conference coming next?
This is, yeah, Solaris, yeah.
Yeah. Coming next, Oklahomies versus Divine Ascension Gaming. Don't go anywhere because we are going to be back in just a few minutes. Hey, welcome back. We are here with our second game of the week. It's Oklahomies versus Divine Ascension Gaming.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the standings right now just to confirm. Hold on, let me see because Jack sent out the updated standings that are spoiler free right now. Let's see. So I believe Oklahomies, we are in week 6, so they are 1-4, and Divine Ascension Gaming is 2-3. If you want to update that on the screen, because both of these teams have an extra win where they did not before. It might have been the bye week that's
Oh
not counted.
yeah, I'm not counting the bye. I didn't count the
Okay.
bye week when I was running through.
Okay, all right.
So
So Oklahomies is actually 0-4 right now.
yeah.
Divine Ascension Gaming probably picked up a win over. Do you know who they beat? Let me look.
Yeah,
GMB probably.
I think it was GMB.
Yeah, GMB is also 0-4 right now. But so let's get right into this game and introduce the teams. On the blue side, we have Oklahomies. Leave it to Wally, 96 in the top lane. On Renekton, now we can see Jordan V69 on Zac in the jungle. HSDRKY in the mid lane as Oriana, and Renji and Madcaps in bot lane as Ezreal Yuumi.
Meanwhile, on the red side, we've got Divine Ascension Gaming. We have Void Alive in the top lane as Urgot, Dunk Prime in the jungle, on Jarvan the 4th, JDK on Syndra in the mid lane, and the bot lane, Simple Sun and Crescendo on Sivir and Nautilus. So, the early game focus there in the top lane for Oklahomies. They've got the Renekton, and they also have the Zac for the early ganks there that should be pretty good against Void Alive. Then they're kind of hedging their bets here in the mid lane and going for a little more utility with the Oriana. Same thing with the bot lane.
Yeah, I like the top jungle duo of Oklahomies picking the Renekton Zac. This is very similar to the Renekton Elise that's being picked in Pro Player right now. Even being early picked because it's such a strong combo, and the Renekton Zac is kind of just a discount version of that allows you to have those early dives, have a lot of early pressure in the lane, kind of work together to kill the other jungler in your lane. So with that, they should have a lot of playmaking potential. But Oklahomies hasn't necessarily been playing through their top jungle. Here comes Dunk Prime onto the mid laner of Oklahomies. Gonna flash early, so not gonna have to dodge the flag and drag. Nowhere to go. First blood over the Dunk Prime. But here comes Leave It to Wally trying to pick up the kill. Jordan V69 is low from the blue buff, but the skirmish might go all the way of Divine Ascension. And pushing forward, Leave It to Wally still has flash available. They're running him down, but they're not going to have any extra CC to finish it off. And Dunk Prime actually gets the smite off and steals the blue buff from Jordan V69 as well.
And that is Divine Ascension all the way. Dunk Prime, already a strong early game jungler, should be able to transition that lead into his lanes so much easier now that he has an extra blue buff and that first blood kill. But oh, Leave It to Wally is not going to be able to find the double buff because Dunk Prime barely gets away.
I mean, it's a bit of miscommunication there from Divine Ascension between Dunk Prime and Void Alive, because you could see that huge wave that was crashing the Void Alive's turret, which he's trying to freeze, but here comes the engage. This is what Crescendo needs to get onto Renji. Gonna burn the heal from Madcaps, and Renji's gonna take a lot of damage, but Madcaps is already kind of low on mana from spamming Q earlier in the lane, so Renji's not gonna be able to heal up very much, if at all, but he's gonna be using his health potion for now, and Madcap's gonna throw his zoomies onto him to keep him fresh for now.
So now JDK gonna get a really good trade off onto Hizdirki, but Hizdirki still has a very small CS lead, 6 CS, 7 now, currently ahead of the Divine Ascension Gaming mid laner. And it is, despite that first blood and the steal away by Dunk Prime, still an even match here.
Yeah, absolutely an even match, and only 100 gold in favor of just because of the jungler of Divine Ascension. Now, a really great stun onto Hizdirki. The Ignite gonna come down, he's just gonna get taken down, has nowhere to go. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, the Syndra-Oriana mashup, especially without Flash. You have to respect her way more than Hizdirki has been respecting her.
And that's also because Orianna has Ignite in this matchup, whereas a lot of Oriannas will take like Ghost or Barrier against a more assassination-heavy mid laner. But wow, Void Alive and Leave It to Wally trading their flashes there.
Yeah, Leave It to Wally actually having a lot of damage and able to cut through the health bar of Void Alive. And we have to keep in mind that this Renekton Urgot matchup is highly Renekton favor, just because Renekton's numbers right now are slightly overtuned, I would say. And he also has the Shield Breaker to be able to bust through the shield of Void Alive that kind of protects him a little bit. Now, both top laners are going to TP back and head back to lane, potentially with TP, but it looks like Leave It to Wally is actually going to hold his TP because he knows it's a cannon wave. Pretty good job right there, honestly. So now he's going to have the TP for this bot lane play, potentially that might go down, as the first dragon is a mountain dragon, and it seems like the composition of Oklahomies would want that mountain dragon.
I love that TP save by Leave It to Wally. Void Alive had like a 5-second question with himself as to whether to shove the wave or try and freeze it, and he actually froze it for a second and then tried to shove it, which means that Leave It to Wally is not going to lose nearly as much CS as he originally could have, but that does mean that Void Alive has actually walked his way down to the mid lane. Not going to be able to find anything, though, because, again, a little bit of miscommunication, as you said earlier. JDK shoved Hizdirki under the tower instead of allowing him to cheat forward and potentially get that 3-man gank there in the mid lane.
And Divine Ascension just not having a lot of synergy between their team. We can see even their bot lane still not able to find anything onto the Ezreal Yuumi. And this is a lane you have to play really, really aggressive on to be able to do anything. And here comes... Oh, the auto cancel from Crescendo, not going to be able to root Frenzy here. Pretty unfortunate. But that's just what happens in this matchup, I suppose. The Arcane Shift blocks your root. So even if he roots while the root is going down, then he can Arcane Shift away and create some distance. But here comes the Shockwave on the JDK. He still has the ultimate available, though. Ignite comes out from Hizdirki, and he's going to find it. The assist of Jordan V69 not even needed.
The return solo kill there, it basically seems whoever has Ignite will win out on this fight. Hizdirki gets himself back. He is now 1-2 to JDK's 1-1. And now hopefully that means that Hizdirki should have a little bit easier of a time here, but oh no, Renji might be in trouble because Simple Sun and Crescendo were waiting in the bush.
But Crescendo hooks the minion. And not going to find the engage on the Renji that they need. Should have waited a little bit to see if Renji gets away from the minion wave, but instead just throws it out preemptively, hoping that Renji walks forward into them, which is a pretty, it's a pretty ambitious hope, I would say.
Yeah, this is kind of an unfortunate matchup here for Crescendo. Nautilus doesn't do well into any sort of slippery AD carry, and Ezreal is basically the poster child for slippery AD carry, but oh boy, top lane and now bot.
And now bot, Jordan V69 gonna use the ult, gonna smite the dragon for some extra health, has the cell division available, Leave It to Wally, has the TP, will he save him? He's not going to do it! Crescendo moves forward, takes a lot of damage to Renji on the backside, does not have enough mana for the Arcane Shift, gonna take the damage from the delete button, Cataclysm, gonna secure the Madcap's kill as well. And now Simple Sun gonna take that one. Now Hizdirki finds himself in the middle of the dredge line. Crescendo forcing the flash from the mid laner of Oklahomies.
Call that last ultimate Cataclysm, but Hizdirki, oh, not gonna get away.
Yeah, they're looking for the Ignite flash from JDK, gonna secure the kill for them. Now they turn their eyes onto the Mountain Dragon. This early game wildly in favor now of Divine Ascension Gaming.
It could have just ended with a pick onto Jordan V69, but unfortunately Renji and Madcaps both decided to try and rotate to maybe save their jungler by zoning off the enemies. What they didn't realize was that the enemy was that much further ahead of them, and it ended up costing 4 lives. The fourth one being Hizdirki getting caught out trying to rotate bot, potentially to join the fight. Leave It to Wally, though. He lived, at least.
I mean, he lived, absolutely. He did have the advantage in the earlier part of that fight, though. Just as soon as the Urgot ult went onto him, he decided to back off because he didn't want to risk it. Not knowing the Urgot ult execute threshold is pretty unfortunate to not know, especially in this matchup, but I believe the Wally's still gonna end up TPing. So Void Alive, you're gonna have the TP advantage pretty later in this matchup, I think in about 1 minute or so. The Dragon is already down, but there's some deep rewards, as you can see, for Divine Ascension Gaming, and they could potentially get a nice TP play off on the Renji, who's been a pretty slippery ADC up until this point.
Yeah, that one behind the Tri-Brush, I think, is the one that you're specifically pointing out, where Void Alive could definitely... Well, it just expired, right when I say it. But Void Alive could definitely try and find something there in the bot lane, and certainly if Crescendo and Simple Sun push forward to try and get another deep ward in that other lane brush, or even further than that. But right now, a 2,000 gold advantage for Divine Ascension Gaming. And considering how strong this team is going to be in the late game, I am sure they are sitting pretty with the Syndra being the most fed on their team right now. That'll be very, very quick at deleting Renji or Histurki, whoever they really want.
Yeah, whoever they really want, especially with the ultimate from Nautilus, it's pretty easy to just lock down a target altogether, even though Renji has that mobility. But here comes the shockwave on the JDK. Dunk Prime is here, lands the Cataclysm, and here comes the Zac engaged, trying to return the kill, but with no damage left. I don't know if he can do it. Throws the Ignite down. JDK gets himself shut down, steps a little bit too close to Jordan V69, who doesn't have the Cell Division anymore and doesn't have Flash. Dunk Prime gonna pick it up very easy and pushing the way for his mid laner.
Jordan V69 was trying to hit every single blob that he could, wanted to get that 4% max health back at every single blob that he stepped on, but unfortunately Dunk Prime just had too much damage, and the Cinder Hulk was just burning down Jordan V69 far too fast. So now 3-0-4 for this Jarvan as he goes ahead and takes another turret plate for himself. 2,500 gold now, or 2,500 gold now. Gonna stretch a little bit further as Dunk Prime gets a third turret plate, and Histurki, he just gets, minor chip damage off.
Yeah, minor chip damage off. Dunk Prime actually going to be able to back the Dragon coming up in 2 minutes, means that he doesn't really have anywhere to be on the map right now. The Rift Herald was picked up by Jordan V69, something that we missed earlier, and it's starting to time out. Now, with Dunk Prime off the map, this is the time window for Jordan V69 to make something happen. And it looks like he's going towards the bot lane of Divine Ascension. We'll see what he can do with the Elastic Slingshot being channeled, and he goes right behind them. Now Renji gets caught up. He's gonna take a lot of damage. The barrier comes out, but here comes the TP that Void Alive has because he didn't use it to get back to the lane. Renji gonna get taken into the belly of the beast right there. Void Alive gonna pick him up. Now Madcaps and Jordan V69 soon to follow, and the play turns completely in favor of DAG.
That flash fear there by Void Alive as he pulled in Renji, flashed on the other side of Madcaps, and secured one more kill for his team. It's going to be a 3-for-0 here. Great counter gank there, using the teleport that we said was going to be good for fighting bot lane. Now, it's about a 4,000 gold lead, and JDK is going to force Leave It to Wally back, while 3 members of Divine Ascension Gaming are going to pick up yet another turret plate here in the bot lane. Turret plating's falling soon, but they are going to find themselves one more before they head back to that dragon that spawns in 50 seconds.
Yeah, but the rest of the Oklahoma squad is here and ready to fight. Here comes the Elastic Slingshot, not going to find Simple Stun. Finds a minion, but the Spell Shield going to block the second channel. He's going to use the ult to create some distance between him and the rest of DAG. Now, Histurki trying to move back to the mid lane now. He was able to get some of those turret plates right before it dropped. We won't know exactly how many until the camera switches back over, but turret plating has finally fallen. It's 14 minutes, and this Jerky is pretty right now as the dragon spawns in about 20 seconds. Now DAG hasn't backed yet, so they're going to be pretty weak for this fight, but they're pretty far ahead right now, so any fight they take would surely be in favor of DAG.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters that they haven't backed off yet, because as you said, Histurki is low on mana. Renji was already super low, and I'm sure now that Madcaps has healed him up, Madcaps is going to be, running out of cooldowns, and then the Let's Bounce was used, so that's a huge team fighting tool there for Jordan V69. And, Simple Sun actually getting hit with a significant amount of Ezreal poke might mean that Divine Ascension Gaming can't just force this, And Leave It to Wally is going to pick up that first turret for his team in the top lane before Void Alive can get there.
Yeah, so right now, Void Alive was forced to move back up to the top lane and stop Leave with the Wally, but now he has the lane priority. He's heading down towards the Dragon, but here comes the fight. Flag and Drag on the back line. Renji gonna get caught in the Cataclysm. Self division goes down on the Jordan V69. A big shockwave on the 3 members, and his jerky goes wild in this fight. Renji gonna jump forward and get taken down, but here comes Jordan V69. He's gonna be there, but gonna get taken down by JDK. Madcap has nobody to jump onto. Here comes Leave with the Wally, gonna clean up the rest of the fight. Picks up JDK. And now Simple Sun and Dunk Prime are on the run. Simple Sun goes the wrong way, actually. It might just get run down by Madcaps, but without the assistance of Leave It to Wally, he's not going to have enough damage to finish this one off.
That huge ultimate from Renji, the combo with his jerky, the 3-man shockwave into the 3-man true shot barrage. Unfortunately, they only managed to pick up one person in that, and that's just a testament to how far ahead Divine Ascension Gaming are at this point in this game. Oh, the flash forward by his jerky might find Dunk Prime, but I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't think the Ignite will be enough to finish it off, but it actually forces him off the Dragon for the potential steal at the very least. So it's a pretty big win for Oklahomies here in this later part of the mid-game. Crescendo might be picked off as well. They need to block the Dredge line. I don't know if they can do it because they're not getting in front of him. He's gonna not get to the turret. What are you doing? He's gonna be forced back with the Scatter the Weak, but now 20 seconds on the support of Divine Ascension.
The desperation Dredge line was just a moment too soon. He was a little bit too far back, wasn't able to connect with the turret, and it does mean that the pick on Crescendo, this could mean the Rift Herald. It is only 16 minutes and 45 seconds. It means that Jordan V69 and the other 4 members of Divine Ascension, or of Oklahomies rather, should be in a fairly easy position to take this. Dunk Prime only has a one-way ticket in the Flag and Drag to try and steal. He's going to use the flag. He's going to
get some preliminary vision right now. It's going to force Oklahomies off of the Rift Herald for a bit, actually. Now, Void Alive coming on the side might get picked off if he's not too careful. But he's looking for the steal, not going to find it. And Jordy V69 takes a lot of damage. He's going to pick up the Rift Herald Eye. Now they're looking for more. Dunk Prime actually gets chunked out at the beginning of the fight, but here comes the rest of them. A big elastic slingshot onto 2, but here comes the shockwave on the 2 as well, with the true shot barrage combo the follow. Leave with the Wally 69 with the assistance of the final chapter coming in the backline, doing tons and tons of damage. Simple Sun jumps too far forward, in danger now, but Crescendo is gonna be the target. He's gonna flash away, but with nowhere to go soon, he's gonna get picked off as well. It's a 4 for 2 in favor of Oklahomies.
Another great Shockwave True Shot Barrage combo sets that one up for Oklahomies, and then Leave It to Wally comes in from the side and then just takes the assist, rebounds it, and slams it into the basket of Divine Ascension Gaming. It's going to give them the Rift Herald, it's going to give them a big team fight win, and it's going to give them their second turret of the game, as well as the gold lead is now going to begin to close just to about 400 gold here at 18 minutes. This is a dead even game again.
And I don't understand how Divine Ascension Gaming kind of threw their lead completely like this. Because if you look at the composition of Divine Ascension Gaming, sure, the Sivir power curve trends more towards the later part of the game, but she's no pushover when it comes to the mid game, as well as the Jarvan, Syndra, Urgot are absolutely massive in the mid game. So ideally they should be winning these fights, but they're just playing them completely wrong.
Yeah, it's really, like, that first pick onto Crescendo was kind of what set up this past fight, but even before then, Divine Ascension Gaming wasn't really they didn't play that dragon fight, the fight around the dragon, they didn't play it right. They got all of their members so low, they walked into the Shockwave True Shot Barrage, and I think they're just not respecting the zone control that Oklahomies has here. And, you know, it's like, oh, well, they're behind in gold, therefore we should just be able to do whatever we want. That is a mindset that will get you punished very quickly, and Divine Ascension Gaming are learning that the hard way here. So, 19 and a half minutes, Baron comes up in 30 seconds, the next Dragon's not up for another minute and a half, so this is a turret game for a couple minutes here.
I mean, it's going to be a turret game. The Rift Herald already in favor of Oklahomies. They're going to drop that on the JDK, but Jordan V69 has to be pretty careful. Crescendo finds a dredge line onto his Jerky. With the assistance of Yumi, going to force him back. He takes a lot of damage, but he might get picked off right here if he's not careful. Going to get slowed by the Yumi. Here comes the ultimate. It's not enough. The final chapter comes out. Simple Sun dodges away from a lot, but not enough to get out with his life. Now Dunk Prime on the way, try to hold the mid lane turret for now. We'll leave it to Wally, finds another trade on the Void alive.
And that's another good pick there by Oklahomies. 3v2 ends up a 2 for 0, and now they're about 1,000 gold ahead, and they're going to get this inner turret, but they have to watch out for JDK because Dunk Prime's here as well.
I mean, it doesn't matter. JDK was spotted out by the jungler of Oklahomies. Now they're going to run down Dunk Prime as well. He just gets slowed by the Yumi Q. Has nowhere to go. Just one more elastic slingshot will finish it. And he just needs to find an auto attack. There it goes. Ignite comes out onto his Jerky. He's in trouble. Simple Sun just needs one bouncing blade, and he finds it. Now Shutdown goes onto his Jerky for Crescendo. And Jordan V69 going to flash out as well. Renji's still keeping pressure onto this turret, and he might have enough to delete Simple Sun if he wants to. Now Voidlight coming on the side. Renji might be in a little bit of trouble, but can Crescendo find the dredge line? This is what he needs to do. He connects it, and Voidlight has already backed off. He flashes forward. Here comes the elastic slingshot on the 2. Nobody's on Renji right now, but he's being forced back by Voidlight. He's trying to find it. Will he be able to do that? He will not, as Madcaps goes on a killing spree, picks him up. Cell Division goes on to Jordan V69, gonna get taken down despite the fact now Crescendo getting picked off once again. 3, 5, and 7 on the Nautilus. Simple Sun soon to follow. He's going to be knocked back to the Scatter of the Week and buy some time. Dunk Prime onto the backline, onto Renji. Finds the pick that he needs. Now Shutdown onto the top laner of Oklahomies as well. Madcast has nowhere to go. Running for his life. It's a triple kill for Dunk Prime.
And that is a clean and simple overstay there for Oklahomies. They had everything going for them, and now...
Flash gonna miss, and JDK misses the Scatter of the Week as well. They might have enough damage to finish this one off. Just one more auto attack from Simple Sun, but he gets slowed by the Dissonance. No!
Oh, his Durkee manages, after failing the flash shockwave, still manages to get the solo kill and walks out alive in that 2v1. So, I mean, I guess that's the bright spot there, but still, that was kind of failing into success. Meanwhile, Dunk Prime gets the second dragon of the game here for Divine Ascension Gaming, and is a little bit of a fiesta coming out of the mid lane there. Like, Void Alive, his ultimate expired before he could reactivate it on Renji. Renji managed to get the kill there, but then Renji and Madcaps and Jordan V69 and Leave It to Wally all just died because Dunk Prime was back up, JDK was there, and Simple Sun, they were chasing him too far after Crescendo fell. So still the gold lead is in Oklahomies' favor, but it doesn't change at all from where it was before they got that huge team fight win around that inhibitor turret in the mid lane.
Yes, and now DAG turning towards the Baron. They send Void Alive into the bot lane to match. Leave it to Wally, who's knocking on the outer turret right now. He's going to get quite a bit of damage, but not going to be able to take it down. Now, Crescendo looking for some preliminary vision. They might pick off Jordan V69, but he has the elastic slingshot to get out. He's going to go towards the top lane, towards the safety of Varenji and Madcaps, but all the vision control now back over to DAG. They're going to look for some deeper vision as well. His Jerky going to push back the jungler of Dunk Prime, but he's just going to eat away all the damage. The wave clear, Simple Sun is too much to bear, and they're going to group for this mid lane tower. They're going to look for the pick, actually. Can they find it? Here comes the Cataclysm, but the dredge line into the wall to the Cataclysm. Shockwave on the 3 as well. He's going to buy some time, but it won't be enough to save his life. Now the rest of DAG knocking onto the inner turret in the mid lane. They're going to find the True Shot Barrage, going to clear the wave just a little bit and stop their inhibitor push for now, but Leave It to Wally actually stopped by Void Alive, and Madcaps on the way with the assistance of Jordan V69. They're not going to be able to hold this inhibitor turret. A major macro misplay from Oklahomies right here, who also lose their inhibitor for this one.
Yeah, I was thinking that Renji should, make sure to get that inner turret and make it a 1-for-1 trade, and then Leave It to Wally got interrupted on his back by Void Alive, and that's where it all started going wrong there for that turret trade. It means that Divine Ascension Gaming gets a 2 plus an inhibitor for 1 turret trade, and now they're trying to fight a 3, now a 4v4.
Yeah, but Leave It the Wall had a great flank, but here comes the Dredge line, gonna take him down. The flank doesn't matter if you're not tanky enough and do enough damage. He's gonna get stopped from the Elastic Slingshot as well. Renji gonna almost get knocked out, but here comes the Cataclysm, and Madcaps needs to hop off to save his KDA. Here comes the Chains and the Void alive, and they might just look to end the game right here. As Durkee finds the Shockwave on the 2, but he's gonna run for his life. Madcast doesn't find the Q to pick up the kill on the Simple Sun. Now they're running around. Simple Sun gonna take it back. Actually, they're pushing in with Super Minion Wave. As Durkee actually picks up 1 on the Void Alive. They're not respecting the damage at all. And now the Yumi Oriana combo gonna force them off of the Nexus turret and keep the game alive for now.
His Durkee needs to not die here, because if he dies, JDK and Crescendo can try to keep pushing this. But the teleport coming in from Leave It to Wally, he might be able to find something if he can fight this 1v2. I think he can. He doesn't have teleport, or he doesn't have flash, but I don't think he needs it. Okay, yeah, he's just gonna force him away.
I mean, they're just too speedy at this point, and it's not exactly something that you want. You might try to look for the pick so that way you can convert it into the Baron, but they're going to reset anyway, so you have this small opening to potentially get some Baron vision, secure it, maybe look for some picks, maybe even grab the objective if all of your team's in the area. But Renji is on the bot side of the map, level 12, has the Blade of Rune King, Iceborne Gauntlet, and upgraded Miramana. So now they might look towards the Baron. He's going to be doing a lot of damage in these team fights. But we have to keep our eyes on his Durkee and where his shockwaves go. That's what Oklahomies need to win these team fights. But if they can't find it, then it's pretty disastrous team fight for them. Dunk Prime now looking for the pick on the Renji. Might just find it if he uses his Arcane Shift wrong and he gets knocked up. Oh no, Cataclysm comes out, gonna force the flash from him. Here comes the flash from Dunk Prime as well. Has the flag and drag up pretty soon. Gonna find the knock up, and here comes the Shockwave to try to peel for his AD carry. Will he have enough damage? The Ignite comes out, gonna pick up the kill on the No, it won't! He throws out the shield and actually saves himself. Now his Durkee forcing them back. Here comes the jungler of GAG to stop the fight. He hits the dredge line. Here comes the final chapter on the 2. He got interrupted on Jordan V69. Throws out the ultimate. But this is all the damage that DAG needs to win this fight. Jordan V69 gonna be the target. Cell Division comes out, and each time the Cell Division comes out, they pick up the kill, and now they turn onto the Nexus Towers. The TP comes out from Void Alive, and JDK is in the area. Only 2 members left. Oklahomies, they're gonna try to hold this one. First Nexus Tower goes down. Now they're looking for the second one. Leave It to Wally has the assistance of Madcast. He's a big boy right now, but will he be big enough? Those cheeks are not thick enough to save the game, and they fall to the Nexus Towers, and Oklahomies fail yet again to pick up another win in the GRLCS.
They were doing so well for so long, and then suddenly the team fight came where they just kind of tossed it away, and after that, Oklahomies couldn't find another team fight to try and bring themselves back into that game. It was really his Durkee shockwaves that were saving that team from, you know, just pure disaster. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Oklahomies are going to fall. Divine Ascension Gaming moving to 2 and 3 here, and Oklahomies down to 0 and 5.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, but we have to give praise to Divine Ascension Gaming. They played a lot of these team fights really well, in all honesty, and they split the map excellently. They made the really smart macro call to decide to base race Oklahomies. We were kind of scolding Oklahomies for that one, but we have to give praise to Divine Ascension as well, not backing to kind of defend that top lane and knowing that they push way faster and can get the pick onto his Durkee as well to push in and grab the inhibitor, which ultimately blew open the game and allowed them to convert that lead into a win.
Yeah, a couple of those plays were certainly, we were criticizing Oklahomies for it, but we were criticizing Oklahomies for the lack of execution on their part, where Divine Ascension Gaming was really just hitting on the points that they really needed to be. For example, that last series of picks on Renji and Jordan V69 and Leave It to, and Durkee rather, that was not necessarily just Oklahomies messing things up. It was Divine Ascension Gaming interrupting everything that needed to be interrupted. They stopped the Elastic Slingshot from getting the re-engage by Jordan V69. They stopped Madcaps. They killed, Dunk Prime interrupting Renji and saving that Cataclysm for after he used the Arcane Shift. All of those things, really good mechanics by Divine Ascension Gaming. It is going to bring them to 2 and 3, so they are still in this playoff race. They just need to get those, they need to get these next crucial wins in week 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, and now that both of the games of the week are done, we can kind of put these conferences into perspective because Divine Ascension now at 2-3 has a potential to get into the playoffs race, but it's going to be pretty difficult because the top 2 spots right now are pretty much secured by Final Boss and Squad, and Pig and CPC are hovering around those bottom 2 playoff spots and looking to secure their playoff spots as well. Now, DAG needs to really I think they need to win out to be able to win and get out of the Solari Conference. But at this point, I don't know if being a playoffs team is enough because if they do get that 4th seed, I don't think that they look strong enough at this point to be able to contend with the top team of the Lunari Conference as well.
Yeah, so just to get Divine Ascension Gaming into playoffs, they have 3 more games. They need to beat Sensei Squad, they need to beat Final Boss, and they need to beat Sam's Kids. So Sam's Kids is kind of hovering around that same area as they are. So that one should just be like, you play well, you win that one. But they really need to pull something out against Final Boss and Sensei Squad, and that's just pretty unfortunate for them because, if it were, for example, Oklahomies, they're playing against Sam's Kids and Vision Gang and Get Money Boys. So what the standings say are the bottom teams in the conference. Unfortunately, Divine Ascension Gaming has to beat the top teams in order to prove that they're, the 4th place team.
And that's I don't know if they can do that. From what they showed us tonight, they have the ability to kind of execute. We saw that I think in earlier weeks they played Pig and CPC. They lost to both of those teams, but they had a pretty good showing on stream against them. They didn't get completely rolled, and I believe in the Pig series as well. It was a 2-1, not just a straight 2-0 by Pig, so they might have the capacity. It's going to be very lucky. It's going to be a miracle for DAG to really get to playoffs, in all honesty.
Just to get to playoffs, like, they've been showing these flashes in the pans, but they need to turn up the heat, and they need to turn it into a total flambe, just flames roaring up from the pan for this to happen. So, good luck to Divine Ascension Gaming. Congratulations to GSM for winning that head-to-head against Goliath Esports Lions, and I believe you have a scrim to get to, so we are going to finish up real quick. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the Diamond Division Shadow Isles Conference at 5:30, I believe. Well, we actually have to figure out who that is because we need someone to run the stream. So make sure to tune in tomorrow, 5:30. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Good evening.
to live.